We're living in unique and interesting times, and of course, Sunday's coming. It's around the corner. For many churches throughout America, they're wondering, okay, what do they do? I'm here with Robert and Alan here at Dunwoody Baptist Church here in Dunwoody, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta suburb here. Robert serves as the minister of music, and of course, Alan serves as the executive pastor here. How are you guys doing? It's been a unique week.
It has.
Yeah, and it turned fast, on us here. When did you know, Alan, I'll ask you the first question, that this was going to be a different week and that you better start getting prepared for Sunday's coming?
I need to give some credit to our leadership council. The chair sent me an email last week.
Wow.
And said, what's the plan and what communication are you ready to send to the church? And I admit that I'd been thinking about it, but I hadn't gotten all that down onto paper. I started writing Wednesday around lunchtime and just crafting the message, and I hit send on Thursday morning.
Wow.
So we had something before the church early in the game, I think.
And you called a whole team together even to prepare that. So we got leadership, all the department heads together before even crafting that to make sure that we were all communicating a unified message to our teams. So props to Alan for pulling us all together and just navigating this in a way that brings us together.
Let's talk about Sunday, because it really is coming in a couple days here. And you're the minister of music, and people are going to be sitting next to together. Does that worry you a little bit? And that there are people sitting next to each other, singing next to one another? Your thoughts?
Sure. It's concerning. Uniquely for us, we are actually moving out of the room that we're sitting in here to our chapel in preparation to renovate. This is literally move week for us.
So a lot going on here.
Mobilizing all of our teams to get all of our technology in this room moved over and literally take what is about 400 to 500 people in an average week to a room that accommodates comfortably 300 to 400, but we're going to pack in 400 to 500, and we've made accommodations. But that in itself is a challenge. Then you take this and put that with it, and we really have a unique situation brewing for us. And certainly we are thinking that we're looking to official statements. And I guess Alan can probably speak a little bit more to that. I'm really waiting to hear from them what we're going to be doing, but we have plans in place. Really, our pastor is taking the lead there in guiding us towards what those steps are for Sunday morning. And I think Alan may be able to speak a little more clearly to that.
What's the difference on Sunday? So if I come here on Sunday, will I see anything different? Will I feel anything different? Alan, of course, there's a move going on here. What's going to be different, though?
You're not going to open the door yourself.
Okay.
One person who's got a lot of hand sanitizer is going to open and close the door for everybody.
Wow.
I want as few hands touching the doors and push bars as possible. We don't pass the plate.
We didn't Sunday.
We didn't on Sunday. We have metal surfaces. We're in the process of getting some boxes, but until then we have deacons stand with plates on a stand at both exits for the chapel space. So nothing's going to go up and down the pews. For communion, we've purchased a large quantity of those single-serve communions where you peel back the foil layer and there's the element is there on top.
So even stuff as little as that, which could be big. Have members called or anything to express concern, to go, hey, I'm not coming on Sunday?
I haven't heard that so much as, what are you all doing? And I think getting that letter out early. I mean, once you know that something's going to happen, we live in a connected, well-read, 24-hour news cycle. People are constantly asking us what's happening. And I find that if you're ahead of that, saying, we are paying attention, we are following these sources, follow along with us if you like. I've been very clear about who we're listening to and who we're not.
Okay, can I ask that question? Give me an example of who you're listening to and who you're not listening to.
Okay, I'm listening to CDC. They are the world experts and they're in our backyard. There's no reason not to listen to what they have to say. We're also listening to Georgia Department of Health because they have high-level interaction with CDC and they're applying it to the Georgia environment. Each state has their own, but each state has a different environment, different flora and fauna. They've got different populace. So you want to be listening to the state level as an official source. And what I'm very specifically not doing is responding to any anonymous emails from congregation members. I read this article, I saw this graph, did you know such and such? I heard that if you boil this or do that, It lowers the chances. We can't keep up with that, and we don't even have the ability to respond to all of it. So I say, here are the sources. We're following the guidelines. Follow along, then we're all on the same page.
Now you guys have a pretty active sports team ministry here. Any feedback on that? Anything that you've learned, Alan, this week on that?
We have some cleaning procedures in place. We have expanded on those for our locker rooms.
Okay.
We're getting a full sanitizing every day. Wipe down of all facilities with antimicrobial wipes. We're putting hand sanitizer on the fields for all players. And I just hit send on another note to all the sports participants. If you or anybody in your house has been sick, we expect you to stay home. We don't want you here.
And that's for church too, though. Would you say, hey, if you're not feeling well,
Please.
under the weather,
Please
stay home for the sake of everybody else? You know, there are going to be a lot of anxious, panicked, worried people, Robert. You know, can you kind of speak into how do you lead someone in worship when they're coming in so heavy? I know for me this morning, I woke up just a little bit more, wow, we're in the new norm now. What does that feel like, and what does that mantle feel like, and what are you going to be leading them?
You know, I would just say to any leader, any church leader, lead out of the things that God's been speaking into your life. In our case, I've been leading our team through Philippians 4 for about the last 3 weeks, and just happened, because God just does it this way, that I was in a passage this week where Paul specifically says, I've learned to be content in all circumstances.
Wow.
And the thing I pointed out to them on Monday was this, that he was able to be content because he knew who he was putting his trust in. And he knew that the God with all the resources was available to him. He could be content if he had literally nothing. And so if tomorrow we don't know what is coming, I'm perfectly content knowing I know that God saw this coming. This is no surprise to him.
Yeah.
And I think that message for our people, and there are so many ways to say it, there's so many passages that you can use to say that, but speak out of what God has been speaking into your life and your church ministry, and then utilize those passages, but bring that comfort to your people. They need that. They need that confidence in their leadership. They need to know that their leaders are looking to the right sources.
And dealing with all of this, man, with your team, you have to be connected well because things are changing so rapidly here, and trust has to be a part of it also. Would you agree to that?
Fully.
Piece of it?
Yeah, I fully agree.
All right, worst case scenario here. I know you guys have thought through and planned through a lot here already, which got to give you just kudos to that, by the way, Alan. But what if someone comes to worship visibly sick, coughing, sneezing? Have you thought that through?
We're still talking about it, but I would have one of the deacons probably approach that person and ask them if we could step out. And when we have them out of the worship space, I would just explain the situation, talk about what some of the risk factors are. We've put in hand sanitizer stations, we've got Kleenex, but you can't go back into a crowded room sneezing and coughing because we know that those are possible indicators. I would offer them a spot in a chair in the lobby. I'd be willing to let them watch the live stream in one of the adjacent classrooms.
But we are in a new norm when we would not typically do that. It's a different season, isn't it? Robert, any concerns that you may have, when you get in your car to go home after this, different Sunday?
Sure.
Any concern?
My biggest concern is that there would be that sneezing person, that coughing person, that a week later we determine here in our community it's become an outbreak, and everyone comes back to us and they say to us, why didn't you do something to make sure that didn't happen, that these people got infected?
Or why were you open in the first place?
Right.
That would be a hard conversation.
That's what we're really having to get into the weeds in right now and make some decisions. How are we going to proceed forward? And it's not just this Sunday. The preparations we're making are for the next 3 to 4 Sundays.
And I would say Robert's doing some amazing things with the pastor right now. He's going back through the archives to pull some old video clips of worship songs, special solos, and music that we have in our digital archive. Pastor preaches a sermon to an empty sanctuary. We can bring in all these video clips, and we can actually do a full worship service, and it'll almost look like, to the folks watching online, that we're actually open when we're not.
That's a good way to segue into this next point. Have you thought about, and God forbid, if we hit this season of that we can all meet together,
Right.
what happens then, Robert?
Yeah, that's the plan. And at this point, we are already preparing, our pastor's preparing in advance his sermons so that we can get those in the can this week. So
Wow.
early this coming week, we're going to be getting sermons down. I'm already working towards getting some music prepared so that our band and singers can come together and have some fresh elements to put with some of the elements, as Alan has said, so we can come up with some fresh content for the next few weeks for the good possibility that that could happen.
We could head in that direction. Are you prepared for attendance to be down Sunday?
Yes,
It was.
yes.
It was down.
This past Sunday.
And
This past
and
Sunday.
online attendance was up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally directly proportional.
say,
we
15
were
to
at about the
20%
same
swing.
Yeah, we were about the same
Yeah.
numbers we normally are, but it swung towards our online community, especially our early service, our traditional service, where we have a lot of senior adults, was down about 100 people, I'd say.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now, was
almost.
offering, I hate to ask this question, get personal in the weeds here, was offering down still the same? Do you notice any difference there?
Yeah.
Slightly, but most of our giving is online.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and
online.
is that a challenge that just you'd give to other churches? Hey, they've not been pushing that so far, the online giving, text message giving, that they need to honestly do that.
You need to take a look at it. It's not something you can do tomorrow.
Yeah.
You need to have those relationships set up with transaction processor for credit card giving or the ACH withdrawals from a
But it's
checking
something,
account.
something to think through,
It's something
though.
to think about. And you need to think about the safety of your counting team, because if somebody sick drops money in the offering plate and the counting team puts their hands on it in the next couple of hours, you're communicating.
It spreads that way, too.
It can spread that way
Yeah.
too.
Last question. Sunday's coming, and Robert, fill in the blank.
Sunday's coming. God will be praised and God will be glorified.
Amen.
And he will show himself to be Lord of all.
Wow.
I know that.
Yeah.
Amen.
Sunday's coming, and
I can't improve on that statement.
that's a good statement
I'll-
there.
I'll-
wasn't
I'll leave it
really
right there.
was. It really was. Well, normally, guys, I would shake hands to the people who I'm interviewing, but we're in a new norm. And so,
are.
man, thank you guys so
Hey.
much. This came together so fast,
Hey.
and you were so open to us coming and crashing into your setting
Glad to
here.
do it.
This
Yeah.
afternoon. So thank you so much for your time, and I wish
Always
you the
glad to have you.
best on Sunday.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lana.